Hello friends, hope you are fine. Today the podcast about is Rahu in ninth house. As I mentioned that it's a good placement for Rahu other than malefic houses. The placement of Rahu in sixth house, eighth house, or 12th house is a problem. And so far as ninth house is concerned, is a very good placement for Rahu. As I mentioned that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything benefic out of it. But under exceptional cases, we get positive things out of Rahu. Given Rahu is strong, it's not debilitated and it's not afflicted in the chart. So if it is afflicting its house of placement in the 10th house in case of Aries ascendant native, uh, it leads to problems to self. There are confusions and chaos, problems to father, problems to children, problems to younger siblings as well, isn't it? So these are the main issues, and there are problems with respect to general fortune. However, if Jupiter is utterly strong in the chart, it will lessen the impact of Rahu in the chart. Or in case Rahu gives close aspect to if in case Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, in that case the malefic influence of Rahu will decline in the chart automatically. However, if Rahu is afflicting, you can't remove Rahu from ninth house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper remedies. Anyhow, if Saturn is also giving close aspect to Rahu, or Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, that will decline the impact of Rahu in the chart. However, the Lagna Lord Mars should be utterly strong in the chart. So these are the basic factors. Now, it also gives positive results as well. Do subscribe the channel for getting notified for the upcoming videos. In case Rahu is not afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house, the person gets involved in religious activities, spiritual activities without putting such efforts, and it also is good for general fortune, and it moves a native to foreign lands, long travels, isn't it? So foreign travel is also possible with Rahu in ninth house. Especially these things take place during the Antardasha of Rahu. So these are the main results of Rahu in ninth house. Taurus ascendant. So far as Taurus ascendant is concerned, Rahu is a planet that gives good results, but under certain conditions. As I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it, like other planets. However, if Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the 10th, in the 11th, in the ninth house, it leads to problems to father, problems to children, problems to younger siblings, and problems with respect to investments also, isn't it? Problems with respect to higher studies also, and problems to oneself also. It leads to chaos in case it's afflicting, and usually when the extent of affliction is more than 50%, it becomes a matter of concern for the native. So there are issues with respect to general fortune as well in case of Taurus ascendant if Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house. So what can be done? No, you can't remove Rahu from ninth house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu. That is possible with the consistent remedies. Now it also gives positive results if it is not afflicting its house of placement. So do subscribe the channel for the upcoming videos necessarily. Now if it is not afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house and Rahu is quite strong by degrees during its Antardasha, it will give good results. The results will be that one will get involved in one will get involved in spiritual activities, religious activities, and it will move a native to foreign lands also during its Antardasha, isn't it? So it will be also good for general fortune as well. However, if Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, or so in that case it becomes quite good, and it lessens the impact of or declines the impact of Rahu in the chart. So these are the main points of Rahu in ninth house in case of Taurus ascendant. However, Mercury should be utterly strong, Moon should be utterly strong in the chart, Saturn should be utterly strong in the chart in order to safeguard against the malefic influence of Rahu in chart. Now Gemini ascendant, so far as Gemini ascendant is concerned, Rahu gives good results in Gemini ascendant as well under given conditions. As I mentioned that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, one can't expect anything positive out of it. So Rahu, if it is afflicting its house of placement in ninth house, it will lead to immorality, it will lead to vices and involvement in gambling, and there will be problems with children, problems with father, problems with younger siblings, and problems with oneself also. There will be problems with respect to general fortune as well. So these are all problems, that one has to face when Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house. However, if Saturn is utterly strong in the chart, it will lessen the impact of Rahu to some extent, and Sun should also be strong, and Venus should also be strong in order to safeguard the malefic influence of Rahu in the ninth house. So what is the remedy? You can't remove Rahu from ninth house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper remedies in terms of charities and other things. However, if Jupiter gives close aspect or Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, it will decline the impact of Rahu in the chart. So these are the main results. Now it gives also positive results as well. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. And if it afflicts if it does not afflict its house of placement in the ninth house, it gives positive results during its antardasha. It involves the native in religious activities, in moksha, in spiritual activities without putting such sincere efforts rather, and it moves oneself to foreign lands also. Foreign travel becomes possible when Rahu is placed in ninth house during its antardasha. So these are the main results of Rahu in ninth house about Gemini ascendant. So far as Cancer ascendant native is concerned, as I mentioned that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, and in case of Cancerians, it does not give good results, and it's not recommended at all, so far as my experience and my opinion is concerned. However, Rahu being a planet of malefic nature, one can't expect anything positive out of it. If it is afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house, it leads to many problems to father, children, younger siblings. It involves oneself in immorality, vices and gambling, and there are problems to self also, and problems to general fortune also. So these are the main problems when Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house. However, there are remedies. You can't remove Rahu from 9th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper remedies. Now it also gives positive results during its antardasha. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. It gives positive results as well, and during its antardasha, if it is not afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house, it involves the need to in spiritual activities, in religious activities, and one moves to foreign lands also during its antardasha. So these are the main results of Rahu in ninth house in case of Cancer ascendant chart. However, if Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, or in this case Jupiter only gives close aspect to Rahu, or Moon gives close aspect to Rahu, it will lessen the impact of Rahu in the chart, isn't it? So these are the main points about Rahu in ninth house. Leo ascendant chart. So far as Leo ascendant natives are concerned, they are quite good personalities, quite strong persons, given that Sun is utterly strong in the chart. So it makes them royalistic in nature, and they want to be royal like people in their lives, isn't it, in every aspect of life. Anyhow, as I mentioned that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, one can't expect anything positive out of it, and Rahu, when it gives afflictions in the chart, it becomes a matter of concern. If Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in ninth house, it leads to problems to father, problems to children, problems to younger siblings, and problems to self also, if Sun is weak in the chart. However, if Mars is utterly strong in the chart, the malefic influence of Rahu will get lessened automatically in the chart. So these are the main problems. One gets involved in vices and gambling and immorality as well. So now what is the remedy? You can't remove Rahu from ninth house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper remedies. So there are positive results as well during the antardasha of Rahu, if Rahu is not afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house. And what are these positive results? Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. Now uh, during its Antardasha it gives good results, given that it's not afflicting its house of placement in the chart, and Rahu is quite strong in the chart, isn't it? And its dispositor, that's Mars, that is also strong in the chart. It makes a sense rather. Anyhow, so it leads to foreign travel. It involves the native in spiritual and religious activities in moksha without uh, having such efforts, isn't it? So these are the positive results. There are general fortune also brightens in such case, given that Rahu, Mars is utterly strong in the chart. So these are the main results of Rahu in the ninth house in case of Leo ascendant. Yeah, so far as Virgo ascendant is concerned, here in Taurus it gets exalted, and Rahu gives good results in Virgo under given conditions, not in general. As I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it, and there are many problems with respect to Rahu in every lagna. And so far as Rahu is concerned, in case of Virgo, it gives good results, but under given conditions. So if Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house, it leads to problems to father, problems to children, problems to younger siblings, problems to oneself also. And one gets involved in immorality, vices, and gambling, uh, gets away from spirituality rather. So these are the main problems. Now what to do? You can't remove Rahu from ninth house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper remedies. And in this case, exalted Rahu, if it is afflicting, it becomes a multiple problem. It will multiplicate the issues, isn't it? However, it gives positive results as well if it is not afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house during its Antardasha. What are these positive results? Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. And it involves the native in spiritual activities when gets involved in religious activity as well, and it moves one to foreign lands. It moves a native to foreign lands as well. So these are the main positive results of Rahu during its Antardasha if it is not afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house. So whereas Libra ascendant is concerned, it gives good results in Libra ascendant as well, given that it's not giving afflictions in the chart. As I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it like other planets. If it is afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house, there are problems with father, problems with children, with younger siblings. One gets involved in immorality there, in vices and gambling, and there are problems to self also. One is filled up with chaos and confusion rather. So these are the main problems when Rahu is placed in ninth house in case of Cancer ascendant chart. However, if it is not afflicting, it gives positive results as well. What are these positive results? Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. So positive results are one gets involved in religious activities in moksha and spirituality without putting much such efforts, and it moves one to foreign lands as well. So if it is afflicting, the problems will be there to father and to children, as I mentioned. Now what is the solution? Then you can't remove Rahu from ninth house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper and consistent remedies. And this is what comprises the scope of astrology, isn't it? Scorpio ascendant, as I mentioned, that it does not give good results in Scorpio ascendant or Scorpio lagna rather, as I mentioned. So in order to analyze the chart, and as I mentioned that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, one can't expect anything positive out of it. It becomes a matter of concern, both Rahu and Ketu, when they start giving afflictions in the chart, in the lagna chart rather. So it is a matter of concern for native, and during Antardasha and Mahadasha as well, these create problems. And if it is afflicting in ninth house, it leads to problems with father, problems with children, problems with younger siblings, problems to oneself also. One faces chaos and confusion in life, and there are problems that one gets involved in immorality, gets away from spirituality, gets involved in vices and gambling. So general fortune is also affected to the great extent. However, if moon is utterly strong in the chart, or Jupiter or Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, such things that decline the impact of Rahu in chart. However, these are the main results when Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the chart. So how to get rid of these? There are proper remedies to be followed in terms of charities if Rahu is giving afflictions in the chart. However, if gives positive results in when it is not afflicting, its house of placement in the ninth house, and what are these positive results. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. The positive results are that one gets involved in religious activities. It involves oneself in moksha and spirituality without putting much efforts. General fortune also gets brightened in such case, and during its antardasha it moves one to foreign lands also. So these are the main results of Rahu in ninth house in case of Scorpio ascendant. Then we have Sagittarius ascendant. In case of Sagittarius ascendant, Rahu does not give such good results because there are many reasons. However, as I said, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, one can't expect anything positive out of it, and it becomes a matter of concern when it starts giving afflictions in the chart. So if it's afflicting its house of placement in ninth house, it leads to problems with father, with children, with younger siblings, with general fortune, involves oneself in immoral activities, involves oneself in vices and gambling. There are chaos, there are issues with oneself also. Chaos and confusion is involved. However, if Sun is utterly strong in the chart, the impact of Rahu will get lessened, or Jupiter or Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, it will decline the impact of Rahu in chart automatically. However, if it's not so, the problem of Rahu will be there if it's giving afflictions from the ninth house. So it becomes a matter of concern for the native. Now what to do? You can remove Rahu from ninth house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper and consistent remedies. And this is what comprises the scope of astrology. It also gives good positive results as well if it is not afflicting its house of placement. What are these positive results? Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon for more videos like this, and so that your knowledge gets increased. And if it is not afflicting during its house of placement in the ninth house, during its antardasha, it involves oneself in spiritual activities, in religious activities, in moksha without putting much efforts, and it also moves one to foreign lands. So there are also general fortune gets brightened as well. So these are the main results of Rahu in ninth house in case of Sagittarius ascendant. Now Capricorn ascendant chart. In case of Capricorn ascendant, it creates rather good, it gives good results as well in this lagna, but under given conditions. As I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, one can't expect anything positive out of it like other planets. So there are many issues with respect to Rahu when it is afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house. So in case it is afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house, it leads to problems to father, to children, to younger siblings, to oneself. One has to face chaos and confusion in life, and it involves the native in immorality. He moves away from spirituality. Foreign travel is disturbed, and general fortune is just disturbed as well, and one gets involved in vices and gambling also. So these are the main problems and main issues out of Rahu during irrespective of antardasha or when it's closed, the afflictions, and when it starts giving afflictions in the chart. So when the extent of affliction is more than 50%, that becomes a matter of concern usually. Now you can't remove Rahu from ninth house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper remedies, with the consistent remedies for Rahu in terms of charities and other remedies as well. However, if Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, it will decline the impact of, it will lessen the impact of Rahu in chart. Or in case Jupiter, if in case Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, it will lessen the impact of Rahu in chart. However, these are the main points. Now it gives positive results as well during its antardasha if it is not afflicting its house of placement. And what are these positive results? Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this, because your knowledge will increase. I'll touch each and every issue on the general podcasters and general results in Vedic astrology. Much is to be yet uploaded and shared with all the people who are interested to know more and more about their chart, isn't it? Now what is this, that if it is not afflicting its house of placement, it gives positive results. It involves one in religious activities, given Rahu is strong in chart, and one gets involved in moksha and spiritual activities without putting much such efforts, serious efforts rather, and it moves one to foreign lands as well, given Mercury is strong in the chart. So these are the positive results of Rahu in ninth house in case of Capricorn ascendant. So far as Aquarius ascendant chart is concerned, in case of Aquarius ascendant, Rahu gives good results as well under given conditions. As I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it like other benefic planets. Rahu becomes a cause of concern when it starts giving afflictions in the chart, and it becomes a matter of concern for the native throughout the life. In case it gives afflictions in the ninth house, it involves the problem. It involves the native in immorality, in vices and gamblings. There are problems with father, with children, with younger siblings, with the stomach also, with oneself also. One faces chaos and confusion if Saturn is utterly weak in the chart. However, if Venus is utterly strong in the chart, it will lessen the impact of Rahu in chart. Or if Saturn or Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, it will decline the impact of Rahu in the chart. So what is the remedy? That if it is afflicting, it creates these problems. There are problems with general fortune as well when Venus is weak in the chart. So in order to get rid of these problems, one has to follow the proper remedies in terms of charities and other things, especially because you can't remove Rahu from ninth house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is what comprises the scope of astrology. In case it does not afflict its house of placement in the ninth house, it gives positive results during its Antardasha. And what are these positive results? Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon, you not get notified for the upcoming videos like this. Now, in case it gives, it leads to rather good results during its Antardasha if it is not afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house and it's strong by degrees. So under such circumstances, one gets involved in spiritual activities, the level of morality gets increased, and one is involved in moksha and spirituality without putting much efforts, and it moves one to foreign lands as well. So these are the main results of Rahu in ninth house to be considered in case of Aquarius ascendant chart. Now let us move to the last ascendant in this series, that's the Pisces ascendant. In Pisces ascendant, as I mentioned, Rahu does not give good results at all, irrespective of what its placement. It's placed in first house or seventh house or fourth or 10th house, it does not give, and it's not recommended. Hazonite is not recommended at all in case of Pisces ascendant. However, if it becomes a matter of concern when it afflicts, when it gives afflictions in the chart, in the Lagna chart, and that becomes a matter of concern for the native throughout the life. So it has to be controlled. As I mentioned, that Rahu can be controlled with the help of gemstone. Full control is there possible with the help of gemstone, and this is possible as this is my practical also. Anyhow, Rahu, if it is afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house, it involves the native in immorality, vices and gambling. There are problems with father, children, younger siblings, with oneself. One feels chaos and confusion in life, and there are problems with general fortune as well. So these are the main results of Rahu in ninth house, main issues and problems due to Rahu in ninth house. Now what is the remedy? You can't remove Rahu from ninth house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper remedies all. So this is what comprises the scope of astrology as well. So it gives also positive results during its Antardasha if it is not afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house. And in ninth house, the affliction becomes serious here because it gets debilitated in Scorpio ascendant. In ninth house, in case of Pisces, it gets debilitated. If it is afflicting its house of placement, it will create multiple problems. The problem will multiplicate, isn't it? So the problems due to Rahu, when it is afflicting, that will multiplicate. Why? Because Rahu is debilitated malefic creates much problems in life, and it is a fact. So it is both logical, it's both scientific in nature, this principle. So many principles I have not mentioned because most of the principles one won't be able to understand what I'm saying. I'll try my best to do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon, and not to get notified for the upcoming videos. It gives positive results as well during its Antardasha if it is not afflicting its house of placement in the ninth house. But so far as this ascendant is concerned, I don't think that positive results will be there. Why? Because if it is not afflicting and it's strong by degrees, it's still debilitated. So no positive result is expected in case of Pisces ascendant. No positive result, isn't it? I can't say that it will give positive results. In other lagnas other than Pisces, in ninth house it will give good results, but in case of this lagna it won't give any good results at all because it is debilitated. So one has to be cautious. As I said, that Rahu can be controlled with the help of gemstone. In case of Pisces ascendant and in case of Virgo ascendant chart, I have controlled Rahu in transit as well, when the influence of Rahu was more than 90% in the transit. I have controlled that impact of Rahu with the help of a gemstone and with the proper method of wearing that gemstone, and which gemstones we are, how to wear. So that is, explained in the consultation of the native. So do subscribe the channel. Bye bye. In this podcast, it's all about Rahu 9th house.